and we often talk about issues in our community. I'm going to just say it out here, and I don't care who gets upset. We have too many fat people in our community. Too many folks are morbidly overweight. I love my brother. Miss my brother. My brother weighed 500 and almost 50 pounds. And it's very hard to get up. And at one point, he was 700 pounds. Obesity is over 700 pounds, 725 pounds. There's no reason on earth for so many of us, so many black people, to weigh so much. We need to really push the plate away. We need to get rid of a surgery. We need to put the spoon down and pick up a yoga mat and put the spoon down. We have way too many people dying because they are overweight, diabetes, heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure, fibromyalgia. There's so many things. Ovarian cyst syndrome, all these things are connected. You know, they call it takeout food because it takes you out. We need to stop eating out in places where people hate our guts. Yeah. Why are you going to buy? I mean, you know how in every community you have a Chinese food restaurant where the oil that they cook your food in looks like tar, and yet we wouldn't try an African place or eat our own home cooking. What is it about people who hate us, that don't live in our neighborhood, that don't speak our language, that don't give us our change back, that makes their food more appetizing than your mother or your sister or your brother? Okay, I just have to get that out there. I want to say to you, that food is the biggest drug killing black people. Food and the
all
excess
the sugar.
Well, you know what? If you exercise right, you can have the sugar. But once you get so big, let me tell you something. We could have a traffic jam if we got all the obese people in their scooters. I mean, there's thousands of them. You would think that there's a new brand of car. There's so many fat black people riding around in them, and it's sad. I mean, people have legs missing because of diabetes. First they cut off a toe, then it's a foot, then it's a leg, then they cut off everything. You know what's interesting? I bet you if someone's clitoris or their penis was cut off if they had diabetes, a lot of black folks would exercise, or their breasts were cut off. You need those, right?
They would straighten up and change.
Oh my God! If you had to cut someone's testicles off because they had diabetes, oh Lord, I know a whole lot of Negro. I can't drink that grape juice. I'll just have a glass.
I don't need meat anymore, man.
You understand what I'm saying?
They won't drink that.
And I know we're going to talk about news, but health news is important.
Health is very important.
They're chemtrails, people. There are hormones in the food, people. There's lead and fluoride and base metals and all kinds of hormones. I mean, you don't need Rispedols to get man titty. I mean, it's in the water. So God have mercy, these kids take the little Risperdal, and they got boobs like Dolly Parton. There is a general assault on the health of our people. And you know what? It's one thing. You can't keep Rush Limbaugh, his little pedophile, obese, morbidly obese. He's morbidly obese. And you know what? He needs to have sex with people his size, as hard as it is to find one. He needs to try hard. He's got enough money. He can find a fat woman big enough for him to lay on, or a fat man. He needs to leave these children in the Dominican Republic alone. In fact, you know what? We should have a GoFundMe Viagra account for him. I mean, maybe he'll have a heart attack, like what's his name, Isaac Hayes. I mean, put him on the treadmill. Maybe you look at too many boy magazines, and then we won't have to hear from him anymore. And that's going to segue. But I'm going to come back to Rush Limbaugh because we're going to talk about him because he's no damn good. And he's an example of how sorry our people are that we don't stand up. He's all in the news with Ann Coulter, who looks like Frankenstein with the blonde wig with extensions on. It's like if you were to give Frankenstein Beyonce's blonde wig, you got Ann Coulter, and because she's having sex.
Like cousin Ed on the Addams Family.
Yeah, she does. I mean, Morticia looked like Beyonce compared to her, but just staying on point. Nutrition, people, we need to be gardening. I mean, there's some things that we need. There's 2 G's. We need guns and we need gardens. Okay,
right.
everybody needs to invest in having their own.
That's it right there.
Those 2 G's. In fact, don't get an old G, get a new G. Get something that multi-load, something. I mean, our people need to be armed and protected, because the other G, where I'll come back to that G, but people, honestly, nutrition, exercise,
nutrition.
Self-control.
We should start having a health show.
In the news, this 23-year-old man, black man, had AIDS on the wrestling team. He was already suspect, ladies, and some of y'all slept with him anyway. Well, that's how that is, And so, that's how that is, people. So I want you to know that people have to eat right. They need to exercise. Yes. And now that they're legalizing marijuana, what people need to do with that is not smoke it to get high. Take it for the ailments and things, the oils. There are all sorts of health food stores. You know what? Some of those black folks with dreadlocks know something, and they know how to do something other than roll up a joint or a spliff. And we have people who are out here who know how to make soap. We need to start buying from each other. We're on the radio. Please be quiet.
Yes.
And so we want you to listen to me, that we need to take care of our health. Don't sleep with everybody. And I'm going to have to say this. Let me tell you something. Mental health. All these black crazy people getting shot all over the country. It's not funny, folk. Part of it is the food you're eating. All those excitotoxins and those little specialty chips that they make. I mean, what do they have? They have nacho cheese, nacho cheese and pig brain chips in our neighborhood with all the chemicals in it. So you think you're eating the pig brain, and it's probably some crushed up bug they got out of the elephant's behind, and put it on the chip, and you say, "Oh, this tastes really good," and then you wonder why you got all these cancer. All that stuff, that filth, we need to stop eating it. And let me tell you something. It says be careful the company you keep. If you hang around fat people, you're gonna get fat. I mean, we need segregation.
We talked about that.
Fat people with no discipline, they want everyone else to be fat. They're liars when they say they don't. When you see that person that nobody can get around when you're on the bus, when you see that person whose car's shock absorber almost busts, when they get in the car and the shock absorber cracks, and they spend more time in Meineke than you spend getting your hair braided. You understand what I'm saying? There's a need to declare war on unhealthiness and unhealthy people. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of fat people out there. You guys are criminals. You're liars. It's not beautiful when you weigh 500 pounds. It's not nice. It's not a mode of transportation when you have scooters because you can't walk up 2 or 3 steps. And you want everything accessible. You need a ramp to get up to the toilet because you're so big. You should think about what you're putting in your mouth so you're able to sit and get it out if you have a toilet. Or if you have a bush, you got to do something. You got to stoop. You've got to control the caloric intake, the portion size. Stop giving your money to racists that hate you, that have these places that are poisoning us. There are health food stores. There are restaurants. You don't have to be a vegan. You don't have to be some person walking around with pumpkin seeds, but you need to stop going and eat all this stuff. No matter what anybody says, and I have to, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm going to say it, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told people what these folks were going to do to the food. In fact, I saw a story today. They're now putting pig farms near black neighborhoods and letting the doo-doo from the pigs overrun and kill communities where black people are. And nobody in the Congressional Black Caucus who's given the subsidies for the pigs to be fed, and your own leadership allows pigs to overrun rural black communities. I mean, we've got toxins in the air. The least that you can do is discover herbs, to discover vitamins. I mean, exercise. Why does everyone hop in a car? The McDonald's is 3 blocks away and you got to ride in the car. Why not walk? You'll burn some calories. Walk to the store. Get something that you can put the groceries in with wheels. That's what I do. I'm not out at the gym. I got a few extra pounds, but you know what? Not 200 extra pounds, 300 extra pounds, 400 extra pounds. And I don't try to pervert the world into saying I'm big bone. I told this woman I was out with a long time ago. She said she was big bone, and I said, B word, dinosaurs have big bones. You're fat. You need to lose it. And we used to talk about obesity. We used to talk about people who had too much pound cake. We used to talk about people that needed to eat the whole bucket of Colonel Sanders. It used to be you could get a bucket of chicken and it could feed 4 or 5 people. Nowadays, you need your own bucket. And so you can get 2 for 1 and sales like that. We need to understand that we're being manipulated by the commercials on television. We're even being manipulated by the nigger preachers where every time you turn around, they've got some bad food. They've got tea carbo in it that's almost 100% high fructose corn syrup, and they're giving you poison in church and getting donations from you. We need to have events where every time we get together, you don't have a whole bunch of stuff stuck up in your face that you've got to eat. I mean, I'm telling you, in fact, we're almost to the point where they've got bathroom treats. When you use the bathroom, there's some food you can eat where you can smell yourself. That's how bad we're getting. And believe me, it's coming. There's going to be something that you can eat in the bathroom to help you relax. While one thing's going out, something else is going in. So I'm saying that I'm not sorry. If you fill up 2 seats the same way you have to pay the airline, the same way you're going to have to pay in public transit, you're going to pay in the emergency room. Let me just tell you, my brother, my mother and father invested enough money for my brother to be buried decently, but he was so large, the people said you'd have to get another burial plot for us to bury him, which means what should have been maybe 5 or 6 or 8,000 went up to 20. I mean, who has 20,000? Who has money for a funeral at all? Even with insurance, even we had insurance, it wouldn't have covered the cost because he knew too much, and only at the last minute was he beginning to open up. And I have to say this, and I'm gonna get this off my chest. Women, some of you are sorry. If you're the ones that cook, you put too much salt, too much sugar, too much lard. First of all, you're not sexy, and when y'all fat, you're not sexy. In fact, you can't have sex. You're too big. So let's stop talking about. I'm cute. I mean, they got more curves in the solar system. And got more steps on the back of their head on those Mexican pyramids. Our people are dying because we lied to ourselves. We're dishonest with ourselves. And I can tell you, just down in Jackson, Tennessee, and in places like Jackson, Mississippi, wherever black people are living in this country, obesity is the #1 killer. In fact, McDonald's and grandma. And your woman, if she's lazy and wants to give you a whole bunch of microwavable food instead of really preparing stuff, all this refined food that we bring to each other are bigger killers than the blood script. They're bigger killers than the killer cops that we can't stand. We should be as angry with Wendy's, with Big Boy, with McDonald's, with all of these people that are killing us. And by the way, coming back to
not want to pay their workers, but then they sell you garbage.
They're selling us garbage, and then they're bringing up generations of people who think that looking like Bob Big Boy on steroids and blackface is beautiful. It's outrageous, people. It's killing us, people. We're dying.
Big, black, and beautiful.
We're dying. I mean, I can talk about a lynching here or there, but anywhere I talk about where the police have killed someone, where the gangs have killed someone, where racism has killed someone, there's been fat people, bad food, so much pork. Porky Pig don't eat as much pork as some of us. And your pastors are lying to you. And I want to say that there's a collusion. I got to get on. You know, I'm not done with these nigger preachers. I have to say one more thing about them. There's a relationship. There's a relationship between our churches and obesity. single overweight women, and exploitative pimp preachers. Preachers who lie to folks that they got some special ministry that's going to make men attracted to women who are 3 times the normal size. Now, perhaps some men get browbeaten into taking into someone and getting hooked up with someone that's so big that they can't even, they need a forklift to get them across the threshold if they get married. And some women, by the way, and I got to deal with this, it's more a woman problem than a man problem. So for all the black ladies that want to run around and always say it's the men, no, it's y'all too. You fat, you're unhealthy. It causes babies to die. The obesity of my sister-in-law killed her baby inside of her. Obesity is a killer. And if I offended you, good. In fact, I had another word, but I'm not going to say it. It's time to stop playing with our lives. And I don't care what anyone thinks. We're dying. They've got experimental hospitals all over the country making money, laughing at our obesity. And they've got us saying, I'm fat. Yeah, you fat, and it's not a pH fat. It's just a regular old FAT. Maybe 3 or 4 T's for you. And ladies, if you get a man, tell him the truth. Men, you're not helping your woman, letting her be fat. You want to cheat on her anyway. And sisters, when you say to yourself that a man wants a big woman, you know why? Because big women pay for sex and women in shape get theirs free. It's time for you to cut your losses. You can save some of your money. Take the money from paying a man to sleep with you and go to the gym and have men pay you to sleep with you. Turn this around. Let's put things right. Now, I'm going to go back to a G on Monday of this week.
Oh, they tell you get one good belly laugh a day, and thank you. Woo.
Now, I want to cover the news, people, but it's very important. It's killing us. It's killing us. It's killing us, and I just have to say to you another thing, and I'm going to come back to both men and women. Men, we need to grow up. It's unhealthy to have sex outside of a committed relationship. And so all of you that want more side pieces than a nigger preacher wants spare ribs at a church reunion or an anniversary, it's killing us.
Oh, boy.
And a whole lot of people got fat taking hormonal birth control, taking Depo-Provera, taking the pills. Mm-hmm. It gets the girls fat early, gets them attracted early. And because when they're a little chunky, they're not as demanding. They become easy targets.
And that chicken.
And it's a downward spiral. The little chunky girl has one baby. Then she has another baby by another dude who just wants a little bit of money. And before you know it, she's a black Mother Hubbard with no Section 8, no shoe to even live in. We have a disproportionate number of our children homeless, living in shelters because somebody was chunky and felt if they made themselves available, that they would have someone. And so we need to start talking about the politics of weight. It's not beautiful. That's a lie. Stop lying to yourself. And you can't buy a man. And men, when you know your woman's big, she's going to want you to be big so no slim woman can take you away. So aside from the oppression of the system, we're oppressed by wanton appetites. Back to this sex, I'm almost done. You can lie and say this fat is beautiful. You know it's a lie. You want a ripple in that behind, but you don't want a tsunami. And so we need to be very honest with each other. I'm prepared to discuss the news of the week in the next 25 minutes. Maybe we'll go over, but I had to put that out because fat is not beautiful. It is not. There's nothing nice about having more oil or more fat than Crisco in your midsection. It's not good. And nobody talks about that anymore. I mean, one piece of pound cake is okay. 100 pieces is not okay. Eating sugar all day, it's not good. It's bad. It's deadly. It's time for us to wake up. All right? Now, we were going to talk about the news of the week, but that's my news flash. And if you don't like me, diet. You'll like me a lot better when you look at yourself.
Right. Okay. Canty is on the line. And Canty, I think you may need to turn your computer down.